Yes.
Unison with them, or singing
Oh no, I think it should still be unison.
yeah.
Yes. And the basic thing is, yeah, anyone who fancies it, join in with that line. I'll make a note of it. It's nice if it kind of builds up and starts a little bit delicate and vulnerable, but not too much. So it's a fine line. So I'm going to kind of put all question mark, because it's kind of something we might revisit. Right, so yeah, and no other questions about the Lord Mayors. I'll put timings in an email, as accurate as I can about everything.
What's the uniform?
Black with a splash of Christmas. Good point. Which means it can either be just a splash of red like usual, because that's a Christmas colour, or, and as silly as you like, you know, being a silly concert, there's all, usually the Lush get, you know, a lot of people tinsel up, and little lights, stupid jumpers. It's likely to be quite hot in there, being 2,000 people, so, but, you know, the hats, the reindeer antlers, anything, and, you know, stupid is good, basically, and if it kind of really breaks all the black and red colours just for laughs, that's absolutely fine. You know, or anything on Christmas, so look like it comes a bauble, by all means, it's fine. You know, all the golds and silvers is all, you know, it's all great, isn't it? But the more, but you know, more is more in this case. It's, you know, nothing tasteful, please. So no, you can even be tasteful if you want. It's fine. Right. Oh yes, St Albans seconds to that. Oh yes, too late. Adele's gone. Fine, screw it. I think there's still about 70 left or something like this, but it does look like to sort of sell out on the night. So.
Are you going to put a playlist for the concert up? I don't think you...
A set list. I will do when I've decided what it is. Yes. That's when is it? Still 10 days, isn't it? Roughly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, fine. So, oh yes, most important thing, the sign up. Who has signed up for St Albans? Just so I know. Who has signed up? Right? Who has not signed up yet but still intends to? I'm not going to be cross, just expect me to roughly know how...
I do, but your good wife's going to sign me up.
Fine, okay, right, just so let me know roughly how accurate our figures are. If you haven't signed up, it doesn't mean you can't change your minds, and if you have, it doesn't mean you have to come or anything. It's just so we can roughly know how many singers will be there, so we can know how many seats we can sell to the audience. It's like, if you suddenly decide, realise you can come when you thought you couldn't, still do come and all this. New people, I definitely come if you can, because it'll be really fun. But if you have better things to do, that's not a problem either. So, yeah, I think all we really need to talk about then is the new stuff, which is the new materials there. Yeah, there's new audio on the website for all these random carols that I'm hitting you with right now. But the reason I'm putting out this, distributing this new music is, of course, because this is our last rehearsal of this term. Already, believe it or not, 6 weeks have flown by. Next term is an exciting and unusual one, as we've been offered 3 exciting contemporary projects to be part of, all of which happen within 6 days of one another. It's like, right, there's one of those, and basically, not being a contemporary composer is amongst the hardest trades in the world. It's just an insane thing. You have to spend unbelievable amounts of time going around scrabbling for commissions or cash, or basically doing just zillions of composing for free all the time, which then you have to beg people to perform. After it's taken you hundreds of hours of free work to create. And then on a rare occasion you do get a commission, it still usually works out to a few pence per hour by the time you've made it exactly everything you want it to be. And you have to do zillions of the logistical organisation yourself to get it to happen on the stage, and then it gets performed once and then is entirely forgotten. So anyone who's kind of basically crazy enough to, in the face of that kind of thankless difficulty, to be a contemporary composer deserves our support. And it's very hard because community choirs don't do it, because they don't usually work for music and stuff. And I'm generally scared easily, if I may say so, compared to you lot. And big posh choirs like Bristol Chorus Society don't very rarely do anything like that, because, you know, they line their projects up, their programs all line up 3, 4, 5 years in advance. So somehow it's just like trying to negotiate a super tanker through a lock or something. So they're just, generally speaking, they just don't support local composers much. So we do more than any other choir in Bristol. The Great Lash always has, and Man Chorus is going to follow that tradition as well. So usually with contemporary stuff, everyone doesn't like it at first. And usually with contemporary stuff, equally by the time, and ask veteran members of the Lush, is that not true, gents? Yeah, that's true, that is true. Yeah, it's contemporary. Everyone says, oh, it's going to be modern, it's going to be weird. Yeah, in some ways, some of it might be, whatever. You've heard the MP3 of the Wishing Tree, which is, that one's like not the most contemporary. I think that's quite listenable, as in, it's got a side which is really kind of poppy, but it's still kind of very amazing and innovative. So, anyway, I don't want to go on with it for hours now, but just very quickly to sow the seeds of the enthusiasm for this. The point is, that we only have, I think, 5 or 6 weeks rehearsals in the new year before all the 3 of these events happen. So we have to kind of bring all this to the boil simultaneously, which is why it's essential that I get you some materials now. The materials you have are the Wishing Tree will be our solo performance project at a Contemporary Festival of Music. Contemporary Festival of Music, there's a kind of, it's a whole day festival where over the course of that day, or maybe it's a whole afternoon, we learn a special contemporary piece which has been commissioned just for that event with orchestra, which is going to be conducted by Will Goodchild, who conducts, Bristol Ensemble. He writes loads of film music, and he's basically one of Bristol's premier conductors, so you get to work with him. You learn that piece in the day and perform it in the evening. And we also have like a 5-minute solo slot, and Garrett Lash has a 5-minute solo slot sort of thing. So the Wishing Tree will be our 5-minute solo slot. The other piece you have today with you is Innovation 216, which some of us performed last year. It's a celebration of Bristol's aeronautical industry, from the Bristol box kite through the Brabazon to, the history of Bristol plane making, basically. And it's written for like 100 brass players and about 300 singers. And that's going to be, we did it last year, and we're doing that again in St George's. And then the final thing I haven't got the music for yet is a community opera written for a huge chorus and sort of string quartet, harp and percussionist, which celebrates the history of St George's since it was first built. And that's in 3 acts, and that's 40-minute long in 3 acts. So that's the big chunky bit, which is a lot to learn in 6 weeks. But I have total faith in you. But yeah. Yes. Yeah, I think for all of these, I think in the circumstances, there's just too much. The thing I'd love to have off copy would be the Wishing Tree, because that's just about short enough. It'll just about be possible, but with all the other stuff that we've got coming in as well, it's a lot. And the thing is, you're getting so good at reading music now that it no longer completely ruins the performance in the way that it used to. In fact, it's still always better without, but, I'm going to be fair about it.
So what dates do they start on at March?
Don't know, it's all in the calendar.
So we just turn up randomly somewhere?
Yes, it's all in the calendar. All the details are in there. It's like right at the end of February and right at the beginning of March. I think the festival of contemporary music is 3rd of March, something. All the dates are in there already. And it's going to be absolutely amazing. I'm not going to lie, it's kind of, the timing's unfortunate. It would be not much better just having spread out a bit. So, waiting for a contemporary opportunity and 3 come at once. But I'm not going to turn any of them down, because they're all amazing composers, they're all great talents, and they need us. So there, we will be there for it. We're going to kidnap some women. We're offering the opportunity for a small number, a fixed number of altos or sopranos from Gert Lash to audition for the honour of joining us for this particular, just because he also wrote an arrangement of it, funnily enough, for a standard mixed choir, soprano, soprano, alto, alto, tenor, tenor, bass, bass. But this is the way he originally wrote it. He wrote the other arrangement, so he had a chance of selling a few copies. But he wants it to sound like this. And if you listen, I've heard an arrangement of a mixed choir doing it. It sounds completely different, because like all mixed choir stuff, it's like 75% women afterwards, so it's completely top heavy. Whereas this is a really bass heavy arrangement. So to bring in just a very limited number of women to sing the alto parts, then boom, boom, boom. I'm about to record the audio for it, your own part audio, sometime over the next couple of weeks, and I'll get that to you as soon as possible. But I think we'll just divide the parts pretty much as it says. I'll think about that right now in the break. Any other questions? Or
Is it the wishing tree you need to pay for it?
yes, the wishing tree needs to pay £2.50 for it, yeah, because he only wrote it 10 years ago, and I'm not willing to steal from a living composer. And apparently he used to be keyboard player in the Divine Comedy. Someone just told me that. So there we are. Amazing. How do you feel about that? Good. Any other questions? Oh yeah, so make sure you get a copy. If you haven't got £2.50 now, that's fine. Just make sure Adele knows that we owe it. Because she'll find out.